One. So we will be talking about real life English conversations. This is going to be helpful because vocabulary is 25% of your score, both in speaking and in writing. That's why if you want to guarantee that you get a good score, both in writing and in speaking, you have to make sure that you enhance your vocabulary skills. Okay? And there's no other way for you to improve your vocabulary than to learn new words, new phrases. Kasi magiging helpful din to, hindi lang sa writing at sa speaking. This is actually going to be helpful in listening and in reading. As mentioned earlier, paraphrasing is very common in IELTS. Isa sa mga distractors sa listening test ng IELTS is paraphrase questions and nakapara different delivery siya on the audio file. So if hindi ka marunong mag-detect ng mga synonyms, antonyms, phrases na common at similar, it would be hard for you to keep up and get the right answer. Okay? So definitely very important ang vocabulary. It's actually the foundation of any language. Okay. And especially in speaking, you have to be able to speak more naturally like a native speaker. Hindi siya parang dapat robotic ka na you would be just giving the examiner a list of information, but the examiner actually wants to see you speak in the most spontaneous manner, meaning in a conversation style. Okay? So this lecture covers these topics. These are the most common topics in IELTS. Daily routine, school and work, food and restaurants, shopping, travel, weather, health, hobbies, technology, feelings and emotions, making plans, problems, and solutions. We've already covered the first five: daily routine, school and work, food and restaurants, shopping, travel, weather. Again, if you want to access part one of this lecture, you can watch it on my YouTube channel. It's already uploaded. And hopefully makover natin lahat: health, hobbies, technology, feelings and emotions, making plans, problems, and solutions. Because on our next meeting, probably next week, I'm inviting everyone to be here at the branch para matest natin yung knowledge nyo. Okay. First of all, the goal of this lecture is for you to be able to learn useful words, phrases, and word combinations. Because whenever you speak using word combinations, tumataas yung score mo sa lexical resource. Again, it's 25% of your score, both in speaking and in writing. So definitely, it enhances the way you speak. Okay? That's why I'm introducing to you word clusters. Word clusters are a group of two or more words put together. And when they're put together, they have a specific meaning. They function as a specific whole. So instead of just learning single words, it would be very helpful for you to learn word clusters, because it will also show that you have a variety of expressions that you could use when you're trying to share your ideas in English. Okay. Let me just skip the first five topics. Okay, nandito na tayo sa topic 6, which is about weather. Okay, masaya tong topic na to. Kasi kadalasan, whenever I ask sa mga interview, what kind of weather do you have in the Philippines, in your country? O napapaisip pa kayo, Yung ibang sumagot, may winter, may fall. Wala pong winter, wala ding fall, walang spring sa Philippines. We only have two seasons in the Philippines. That is the rainy season and the tropical season, right? So, alam niyo ba kung kailan nagsisimula ang tropical and ang rainy season? Hindi ko na rin alam kasi meron tayong tinatawag na climate change at paiba-iba na talaga. Like right now, it's supposed to be rainy season, di ba? Pero how does it feel outside? It feels like summer. But eventually in the afternoon, nagsisimula na siyang umulan. Okay, so these are the most common expressions that you could use when describing weather. How's the weather today? It's a Wednesday and it's a sunny day outside. The sun is shining brightly. It's quite hot. That's why I chose to wear light clothes today. Clear skies, partly cloudy, overcast skies, heavy rain. It was really raining. Hindi siya maganda pakinggan pag sinabi mong, it was really raining today. It's a more natural expression when you say it's raining heavily, right? How about umaambon? What's the right term for umaambon? It's drizzling. There's a slight drizzle outdoors this morning. That's why I prepared everything that I needed, an umbrella, a raincoat, and some boots. Because in the Philippines, it would always flood, even if there's just little rain. Okay. Pwede mong gamitin yung word na gloomy, pero pwede mo rin gamitin yung term na overcast skies when you're pertaining to a cloudy day. Pag sobrang maulap and the sky is covered with gray clouds. Pouring rain, heavy rain din yan, pouring rain. A sudden downpour, yun yung bigla na lang umulan. A thunderstorm is approaching. Upon looking at the sky, upon looking at the overcast skies, it appears that a thunderstorm is approaching. Okay? Strong winds, a heat wave, a cold spell, humid weather. What does humid weather mean? The humidity level is high. And when we say that the humidity level is high, yun yung feeling na masyadong ma-moisture yung hangin. This will, paano ko ba siya i-describe? When you're in Manila, I'm giving Manila as the best example kasi doon ko nafe-feel yung humidity most of the time. Pansinin nyo, ang bilis lumagkit ng skin nyo sa Manila. Because of the high humidity level and definitely air pollution. Okay? Pleasant weather. Unpredictable weather, hindi mo alam if uulan ba or aaraw. Because earlier today, it was a sunny day, but towards lunchtime, it started to be partly cloudy. So I think we are in the season that we're experiencing unpredictable weather. And familiar naman kayo sa word na weather forecast. Now let's take a look at sample sentences. Okay. What does it mean when we say it's boiling hot today, Valerie? Super init. Alam naman natin na ang boiling point ay super init talaga. You can get burnt, right? So definitely, that's what we experience on hot summer days in the Philippines. It's boiling hot. Pwede nyo rin gamitin yung word na scorching. It's scorching hot outside. Don't go out without sunscreen, diba? Okay, what about we're experiencing a heat wave? Ano ibig sabihin nun, Robert? Yeah. Alinsangan ang sabi niya. Anybody from Zoom participants? We're experiencing a heat wave. What does a heat wave pertain to? It usually happens when it's summer season in the Philippines. Sunod-sunod na araw siyang mainit, especially here in Cabanatuan City. High temperature, extreme heat. Tama, Jimmy and AJ, very good. How about we're having torrential rain? What does it mean, torrential rain? Medyo similar siya sa meaning ng heavy downpour at saka it's raining cats and dogs. It's raining heavily, but the difference between torrential rain and heavy rain is that yung bugso siyang, alam mo yung wala man lang ambon, yung biglaan na lang talagang may malalaking droplets of rain. Yun yung torrential rain, okay? Okay, how about you, Angel? What does it mean when we say unpredictable weather? The weather is unpredictable. Yeah, it keeps changing. That's right. The weather can change in the blink of an eye. All right, anyone from Zoom, what does it mean in a blink of an eye? Oh my gosh, you're so funny, right? I didn't expect that answer from you. So, naniniwala kayo sa mga ganong superstitious beliefs? Pag may kinakasal na tikbalang daw, ano? Blink of an eye, biglang. Oo nga, no? Kasi di ba pag biglang mainit siya, actually mainit siya throughout the day, tapos biglang uulan, sabi nila, ay, parang may mga unggoy na kinakasal, ganon. Pero, syempre, yung mga ganong superstitious beliefs natin in the Philippines, we will not we will not bring that in our IELTS interview kasi hindi alam yan ng mga examiner, okay? So, gamitin na lang natin siya ng term na it suddenly rained in the blink of an eye, di ba? Okay, that was a really entertaining answer, right? Thank you. Okay, now we're gonna read a sample answer. This is one of the common questions that could be asked in IELTS. What kind of weather do you like? Okay, so dapat prepared ka. Are you the person who likes rainy weather or are you the person who likes summer, the summer breeze? Okay, this is a sample answer. Who would like to volunteer reading? Right, do you want to read it? Okay, sure.
I personally enjoy pleasant weather, especially when the sky is clear and the temperature is comfortable. I don't really like extremely hot days because they really can be unbearable. I prefer cool and breezy weather because I can spend more time outdoors, go for a walk, and enjoy the fresh air. However, I don't mind rainy days occasionally because they give me a chance to relax and stay indoors.
Okay, thank you, Rai. That was a very pleasant way of reading it. Ang ganda pakinggan ng boses ni Rai, ano? However, always take note, during your IELTS interview, you have to maintain medium pacing. Okay? Huwag masyadong mabilis magsalita so that the person you're talking to can understand your message part by part. Speed does not 100% mean na fluent na si test taker. Okay? What our goal here is the examiner to be able to comprehend what you're saying. At kung masyado kang mabilis magsalita, you can come up with a lot of mistakes like grammar errors. You can come up with mispronunciation of words. Okay, so proper phrasing. I personally enjoy pleasant weather, especially when the sky is clear and the temperature is comfortable. I don't really like extremely hot days because the humidity can be unbearable. So yeah, I prefer cool and breezy weather because I can spend more time outdoors. Like go for a walk and enjoy the fresh air. However, I don't mind rainy days occasionally because they give me a chance to relax and stay indoors. So kalma lang yung approach, okay? Who wants to answer the question, what kind of weather do you like? Let's practice yung rule o yung formula na tinuro ko sa inyo in the past few weeks. REE. Your response, ayaw kasi ng examiner ng paligoy-ligoy na sagot. Gusto nila response muna. And then, expound your answer or elaborate your answer. And then, give examples. Okay? What kind of weather do you like? Does anybody want to give their sample answer? We have Laurent, Jomar, Jemmy, Dustin, CJ, Christian, si Precial, and si AJ. And in the room, we have Valerie, Rai, Angel, and Robert. Do you want to try answering this question? Anybody? You know what? Lagi ako nagtatanong, can you volunteer? But nobody really does. I end up doing it. Okay, sige. I'll give you my own sample answer. REE, okay? Response, expound, and example. Now that I'm in my 30s, oh, ayan, may clue na kayo. Kinonfirm na natin yung sagot ni Robert kanina. Okay. Now that I'm in my 30s, I really enjoy rainy weather. A lot of people think that the rainy weather is always associated with sadness. But somehow, now that I'm an adult, it gives me a reason to sit back a bit and relax because I actually work from home. And in the Philippines, the country where I live in, there's always a power outage whenever it's rainy season. So that's my chance to actually not work because there's a power outage and my classes are canceled. So I used to be very upset whenever that would happen in the past because I was so careful not to lose my incentives for attendance. But now I seem to have that blissful feeling whenever the power outage is happening because there's a there's a certain kind of happiness I feel whenever I can sit back and relax and slow down my day a bit. Okay, ayun na yung sagot ko. Nagbigay ako ng exact response. Why do I like rainy weather? And I also gave you an example kung anong nangyayari, bakit gusto ko ang rainy weather, 'di ba? Wag lang yung heavy downpour kasi bumabaha sa Philippines and that's so hassle, right? Like you can't go out of the house. Well, it really depends where you live. Those people who live in subdivisions, I don't think you experience the flooding, but for those living in, you know, yung mga ordinaryong Pilipino like us, we do experience flooding most of the time during rainy weather. Okay, don't worry, hindi nyo kailangan i-screenshot. Ibibigay ko na tonight. I mean, after this lecture, ibibigay ko na yung handout. Last Saturday kasi, hindi ko binigay yung handout kasi hindi ko patapos tong lecture na to. Now we're gonna talk about health. Health and anything about fitness is also a very common topic in IELTS speaking and also in writing. Okay? Kaya naman, these expressions are very helpful. Catch a cold. Past tense is, oh, I think I caught a cold. Or you can also use the expression, I'm down with a cold. Or I'm down with the flu. Okay? Ibig sabihin, nakuha mo yung virus. Hindi ka kasi nagva-vitamin C. Okay, for those who are not taking vitamin C, guilty din ako dun. I don't take vitamin C. But, you know what? I've been very conscious and diligent with following a high fiber, which is veggies, high protein diet, and a balance of carbs. I also intentionally minimized my sugar intake, and I noticed how my immunity really became much stronger. My immunity in the last 4 months, hindi ako nagkakasakit. I used to be very susceptible to diseases, like catching a cold, being down with the flu. Pero in the past 4 months, grabe talaga, nakita ko yung changes sa health ko. And it's all about what we take. We don't need natin ng supplements like vitamin C. Yes, definitely we need that. Because apparently we don't get it from all the food that we intake and the drinks. Pero kung healthy talaga yung lifestyle mo, I think you're gonna ROI it, okay? A few days ago, na-catch ko yung virus from my husband because he had a cold. Sabi ko, nahawa ko. And that's something that I can't avoid. It's inevitable, right? But I didn't take any meds. I didn't take any meds. Usually, magta-take agad ako ng cetirizine because I don't want to get sick. I can't afford to get sick. I have so much to do. But then I chose not to. I prioritize sleep, rest, hydration, and I just had a hot cup of ginger tea. Ginger tea is anti-inflammatory. Anti-inflammatory. I used to say it inflammatory, pero narinig ko kasi kahapon sa podcast. It's supposed to be pronounced as anti-inflammatory. Ganun siya, okay? So, yun, naka-help siya, ginger tea, when you have a flu. Without any additional sugar or honey. Just plain ginger tea. Okay? You can buy the one from Watson's that's available in a tea bag, but you can also just make your own by boiling ginger, right? So if you're feeling under the weather, it means you're not okay. Probably you have a headache, nahihilo ka, or probably you're feeling sluggish. You're just feeling under the weather. It's not your normal mood, okay? Now, I want you to be very careful with the next expression, which is take medicine. Bakit take medicine? Eh, nasanay tayo sa drink. 'Di ba? Apparently, meron na tayo ngayon iba't ibang forms of medicine. We have syrup, liquid, capsules, tablets. We also have yeah. Ang tawag doon? There's a specific name for it. For the medical people, please help. I need your help. Yung ano, yeah, okay. Let's just go with dextrose. So, you don't literally drink all that, di ba? Ini-inject kasi yung iba. Okay, ayan na, may help tayo. Chewable. IVF. Yes, Precious. IVF. That's the thing that I have in my mind and it's in the tip of my tongue, but I couldn't think about it right away. So yun. Take medicine means in general. If you use the term drink medicine, it's supposed to pertain to syrup or liquid medicine, okay? And meron din naman yung iba naririnig ko, they say, I need to eat my medicine. It's not a very natural expression, so wag nyo gamitin yon. Take medicine para safe. Any kind of medication, pwede mong gamitin yung term na take medicine. Oh, I need to take my medicine. Whether it's a tablet, capsule, liquid, whatever. Get plenty of rest. Get well soon. Have you made a full recovery? Ibig sabihin, totally okay ka na, naka-recover na yung katawan mo. Stay hydrated. We're talking about water. Last year, I was the worst when it comes to drinking water. Sino dito yung guilty? Raise your hands. Naku, it's about time to prioritize hydration. Stay hydrated. Lalo na, we live in an age, ang dali na lang mag-consume ng mga liquids na may flavors. Juices, caffeinated drinks. It's caffeinated, not caffeine, okay? It's caffeine. So caffeinated drinks. Ang dali na lang because that's the hype. Yun yung uso. Yun din yung available everywhere you go. There's temptation, right? But you have to prioritize your water. Water is so helpful and definitely it will keep your kidneys healthy. Kaya pala I think it was around, yeah, before, last year. And the years before, lagi akong may parang UTI. I was even diagnosed with UTI once, pero na-correct naman siya because I had a checkup and nag-reseta si doc ng antibiotics. But I would always have that pain kasi nga I don't drink enough water. I used to not drink enough water. That's why water is so important. Try 1.5 and then dagdagan mo siya gawin mo siyang 2 liters a day. Okay? But don't overdrink either kasi it's not good. And before taking any flavorful drinks, make sure that you have already drank a glass of water. Kasi your stomach can get, book a doctor's appointment, book a dental appointment. You can talk about that too. Have a sore throat. This is something that you have to avoid before your test. Napaka-importante ng audibility at ng voice condition when it comes to your speaking test. May mga students kami na just because of a sore throat, got a very low band score in their speaking. Kasi hindi clear yung pronunciation. That's why, make sure a week before the test, you're healthy. Physical conditioning is so important before taking your IELTS test. And for that specific reason, the speaking test, you need to be audible enough. You have to have clear pronunciation and your voice quality needs to be conditioned. And definitely, pag may sakit kasi tayo, ano nangyayari? Hindi ka makafocus. Kahit anong aral pa ginawa mo, kahit anong preparation mo, when your body is not conditioned, definitely, hindi mo makukuha you won't be performing in your max potential, okay? I'm suffering from allergies, okay? What kind of allergic reactions do you have, guys? Ah, okay. Allergic rhinitis. It's triggered by dust? Yeah, or sometimes cold weather. Smoke. Okay, okay. Ang dami nating participants today, ah. Okay. Seafood. Hala, ang malas naman ni Preshil. Seafood is the best. You're allergic to shrimp? Okay, let's take a look at the sentence examples. I'm feeling under the weather. I think I'm coming down with a flu. I work out regularly. If you want to describe your fitness, I work out regularly. I try to stay physically active. How important is fitness? Yan, isa yan sa mga common questions that will be asked in your IELTS test. How important is physical fitness? Is exercising a common activity in your country nowadays? Yan yung mga tanong. I make time for regular exercise. I'm completely exhausted. I'm drained of energy. Exhausted and drained of energy is basically the same thing. I need to get some rest. Okay? Now let's answer the question, what do you do to stay healthy? What do you do to stay healthy, Angel? Ano ginagawa mo to stay healthy?
Healthy food, vegetables, drink the water every day. Sometimes I do some exercise.
Okay. You stay active, right? How about you, Valerie? Walking. Okay. How many steps is your goal per day? Kala ko 20K steps a day. Grabe yon. Ang tindi. 5 to 20 kilometers? 20 kilometers? That's a lot. So how often do you walk? Like, is it a daily thing? Every day in a week or on weekends you walk? Okay, okay. I think it would be better if you do it on a daily instead of isang bugsong 20K, 20 kilometers. I think that's overwhelming. But if you scatter that, if you spread that throughout the week, studies show that walking has shown a lot of improvement and prevention in future diseases such as diabetes, hypertension, dementia. Gusto niyo i-share ko sa inyo yung link na napanood ko. It's so good and it talks about all the benefits of walking. The reason why I'm sharing this is because I've been consistent in my walking journey for the last 13 weeks. So I'm on week 13 this week. And I've been walking for consistent na ako ngayon sa 10K. That's my non-negotiable. It's like my standard, 10K a day. Pero nilalagpasan ko pa yon depending on my energy level or my time. So, yung average ko is 12,300 steps a day according to the data displayed on my app. Pero yun, i-share ko sa inyo yung video about walking. Mababash na naman ako na to ni Sir Kevin. Sabihin, anong share mo dito? Okay, but I don't care. I-share ko sa inyo yun mamaya, okay? All right, what do you do to stay healthy, Rye?
Nag-decide po ako deficit.
Para to look snatched on photos, right? Okay.
Eat more protein.
Okay, prioritizing protein. Yeah, that's good.
Walking po, pero sa bahay lang po. Walk with less sa YouTube po.
Yeah. Actually, there are a lot of YouTube channels ngayon. Yung exercise nila is for walking. But that's a 30-minute exercise, parang ganon. Kung malaki yung bahay, maganda rin yun, no? Pero meron din kasing stationary walking eh. So, yeah, it's possible. I do that too. Kapag nauumay na ako sa treadmill, yun yung ginagawa ko. But it's very good to have a treadmill because we have sa bansang Pilipinas kung saan maulan at mabaha, pag wala kang treadmill, tatamarin ka talagang mag-walking. So definitely. How about you, Robert? What do you do to stay healthy? Akala ko kung ano yung dinidrink niyang plenty. Water pala! Water pala! Okay, okay. Joke lang! Okay, you drink plenty of water. That's good. Oh, really? What kind of workout do you do? Ginaya mo lang yung sagot ni Ryan. Just kidding. Okay, walking and cardio exercises. Yeah, okay. You know, guys, recently natutunan ko, cardio and working out is different. Cardio is literally enhancing the performance of your heart through running, brisk walking, incline walking, jump rope. Yan yung mga cardio eh. High intensity workouts like HIIT or interval workout like babaguhin mo yung speed ng walking mo. Pwede kang mag-jog and then walk, jog, walk, and interval siya. Magkaiba siya sa workout because workout is about training your muscles. Okay? So if you wanna look more snatched, I think it's about time for you to switch to strength training. You can do calisthenics. Tama ba yung pag-pronounce ko? That's using your own body weight. Your own body weight to exercise. Calisthenics ba tawag doon? Yeah, calisthenics. Yun yung parang yoga, Pilates, and pwede namang walang equipment. Pag meron kang pull-up bar sa bahay nyo, yung iba nagpo-pull up, or yung mga push-up exercises, yun. You're using your own body weight. But if you're not yet confident with that, of course, ang initial way is to do strength training using weights, right? Okay, so this is a sample answer. Okay, how about the people here on Zoom? How do you stay healthy, guys? Would you like to answer that question? Or parang wala na namang sasagot? I want to call on Argeline. Can you unmute your microphone? Please? Or are you at school? Argeline? Hello? Are you there? Can you hear me? Okay, she can't. So ito yung sample answer. Okay. Light exercises. As much as I can, I stay away from people who are unwell. Are we talking about mental conditions or physical? Kasi pwedeng pareho, di ba? Yeah. Pwede kasing figurative ko i-interpret yung sinabi ni Precious. Maybe she's staying away from toxic people, right? Because it's also very unhealthy to stay with toxic people. Eventually, it's contagious. Toxicity is contagious. I believe maintaining good health requires a combination of physical and mental well-being. I try to follow a healthy lifestyle by exercising regularly and eating a balanced diet. Okay, pay attention to the word diet. Kasi ang mga Pilipino, pag sinabing diet ka, ibig sabihin nagpapapayat. Pero hindi. Diet is a style or kind of eating, okay? For example, high protein diet or low carb diet. Yun yun. Hindi pag sinabing, oh, you're on a diet? Ibig sabihin, nagpapayat na agad. Meron lang siyang specific na diet na sinusunod, okay? Some people are keto diet, naka-keto, ganon, high, I don't know what that is. But anyways, yung iba naman naka-calorie deficit, like what Rai said, right? So, pag sinabing balanced diet, meaning, tinatry niyang i-balance yung meals niya with all the macros. High fiber, carbs, protein, fruits, and all that. Physically and mentally. Okay, that's so good. I also make sure to get enough sleep because lack of rest can affect my energy levels. Exactly. Your hormones are regulated when you get 8 hours of sleep. So according to a nurse that I asked, 6 to 8 hours is the standard sleep that an adult should be getting a day. 6 to 8 hours to condition your mind and body, okay? Whenever I feel stressed or overwhelmed, I try to take a break and do activities that help me clear my mind. Overall, I think small daily habits can make a big difference in staying healthy. Okay, that's a really good answer. Now let's move on to hobbies. Maraming hindi alam ang isasagot pag ang tanong na is, what is your hobby? What's your favorite hobby? What are your hobbies? Okay, sige. Bago tayo mag-move on sa hobbies, basahin natin yung sagot ni AJ. I stay healthy, I drink plenty of water and eat a lot of vegetables. I also try to follow Zumba lessons on YouTube. I'm not really good at dancing. Although I'm not really good at dancing. Okay, AJ. Pakitaan mo naman kami ng Zumba moves. I'm just kidding. Okay. Thanks for that answer, AJ. Now we have hobbies. We're going to talk about hobbies. Hobbies are anything that you do on your leisure time. Pag sinabing leisure time, free time. So, meron ba kayong free time? Do you allot some free time for yourself to do hobbies? Kasi that's also very important for your mental well-being. When you have a routine, which is work, school, home kind of routine, nakakapagod siya. It gets tiring. It gets exhausting and somehow draining, right? You want to do something that would also contribute to a more balanced sanity. Okay? So what are your hobbies? Robert, what's your hobby? Okay, watching movies. Okay, how about you, Angel?
Um,
Hanging out with their siblings. Okay, that's quality time with family. Okay, but a hobby is something that you try to enhance, a skill. For example, painting. Or what about cooking is a hobby? If you're not doing it for pag hindi siya trabaho mo, if you're not a chef and you just want to do cooking or baking to enhance your skills, or you're just doing it on a not on a regular basis, it's a hobby, okay? So think about other hobbies that you have. Reading a book is a hobby. Watching series is a hobby. Traveling, okay? You can say traveling with my siblings, okay? But yung pinaka-hobby dito is the traveling itself, okay? So how about you, Rai?
if I watch some recipe like 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 what I did last time, the Japanese sando bread.
Ah, okay. So you like experimenting different kinds of, yung mga usong trendy food sa YouTube, okay. So sabi kasi nila, in order for you to achieve that crispiness on the sando bread, you need to dip the bread. I mean, you have to deep fry it in boiling oil. Hindi ba niya ma-absorb yung oil?
Na-absorb ko.
Oh my gosh, I don't want that. That's not good for calorie deficit.
Pero,
Ah, you air fried the bread. Okay. Na-achieve naman din yung crispiness.
yes,
Oh, that's a very good option.
kasi 40 calories.
Yes, yes, yes. The calorie count changes drastically just because of oil. I used to not know the difference, but now that I do know, kaaway ko na siya. Like, I don't even let my husband cook anymore because when he does, it's drenched with oil. My God, like, I don't have any option than to eat it. But ang ginagawa ko na lang, I put some paper towel, dun ko dinadrain yung oil kasi I don't wanna build my calories up too much. Okay, hobbies. Valerie, what's your hobby? Mm-hmm. Okay. Ngayon, pag tinanong kayo ng examiner, what is your hobby? Kahit wala, magsinungaling ka na meron. Okay? You have to think of a hobby. Or pwede rin naman ang approach mo, try to attempt that question by saying, at the moment, I don't have a specific hobby, but there is a hobby that I'd like to try in the near future. If I had the chance, I would like to try painting. O kaya, when I have my free time, now that I'm a student, my schedule is quite busy because I have a lot of research paper due to to finish. But when I get the chance, I would like to enroll in a ballet class. Nag-ballet. It's not recommended for adults though. It's recommended for little kids kasi, ballet is also training your joints and your body, your muscles. So I think adults would have a difficult time kung walang background sa aerobics. So kids talaga ang nagbaballet. Sorry for that. So these are the expressions that you could use to talk about hobbies. I have a passion for. Kasi iniiwasan natin na maparot nyo yung tanong. Halimbawa, tinanong kayo ng examiner, what's your favorite hobby? Ang tendency, sasagutin nyo, my favorite hobby is, pwede namang hindi ganon. Actually, mas okay if i-paraphrase. So you can say something like, I'm into badminton. I have a passion for any sport with rackets, like tennis, pickleball, badminton. And I think I have become good at that. Okay? Or pwede nyo rin gamitin yung term na I'm interested in. I'm not a very athletic person, so I'm more interested in arts and crafts. There's a hobby that I'd like to take up in the near future when my schedule allows me, and that is water sports, such as free diving. Pick up a new skill. Ano ba yung mga skills na pwede niyong i-pick up? Cooking. I would like to improve my communication skills. Okay, spend time doing something. Okay, that's easy. Unwind after a long day. When we say unwind, ibig sabihin, relax. What do you do to unwind after a long day? I sleep. Wow, ang ganda ng hobby niya, sleeping. Take my mind off things, meaning, i-relax mo yung isip mo. I work a 9 to 5 job and it's pretty exhausting. That's why I would sorry, my tongue is twisting. I would like to take my mind off things through visiting different cafes in my city. I live in Cabanatuan City, and now it's a combination of semi-country area and it's somehow being civilized, so it's more of a city. There are so many cafes, beautiful cafes in my area. That's why I like to take my mind off things through visiting cafes. I like the ambience, the vibe, and just the smell of caffeine, espresso, it lifts up my spirits. Ganyan, okay? Express my creativity through painting, through sketching, through interior designing, through fashion, okay? Anything that you want, okay? Join a club or group, meet like-minded people. Meet like-minded people means to find a community who share the same passion. Try something new, spend quality time. Pwede mong gamitin tong expression na to, Angel. Well, I don't really have a specific hobby, but I like hanging out with my family, my cousins, my siblings, because I think spending quality time with them is really fun for me. We're all foodies, so we like trying new cuisines. So one of our hobbies is to eat out. Pwede rin ganon, di ba? Make time for something. Pass the time. Parang palilipasin mo lang yung oras. Be passionate about and have a passion for is technically the same thing. So let's take a look at the sample sentences. Could you read the sample sentences? Arai, could you read them?
I really Gaming is one of my favorite ways to unwind after a long day. I've been passionate about gaming since I was young. Music has always been a big part of my life. I enjoy listening to music because it helps me relax and recharge. I have a deep appreciation for different types of music.
Okay, so we have the expressions I'm really into. My favorite ways to unwind after a long day. I've been passionate about. Has always been a big part. It helps me relax and recharge. Relax and recharge. Maganda yon. Alam niyo ba yung R&D? It's R&D time. Relaxation and recharging. Or rest and relaxation, R&D. Familiar ba kayo sa term na yon, R&D? Like when you're on vacation, tapos magpo-post ka ng story, R&D time. So R&D time pertains to rest and relaxation, okay? I have a deep appreciation for, okay, deep appreciation for. What do you do in your free time? This is the top most common question asked in IELTS. Wala sanang sumagot ng cleaning, okay? Kasi cleaning is a task. It's a household chore. Napaka-uncreative mo naman kung cleaning pa ang isasagot mo. Free time pertains to the time that you allot for yourself to relax, to do something you like, you enjoy. Okay? I like sightseeing. People watching. Ito nauuso to ngayon sa mga Gen Zs. People watching. You sit alone in a cafe, drinking your cup of coffee, having your favorite pastry or whatever your order was, like a pasta or something, and you just people watch. There's something so special about that. For me, kasi that's the time na nakakapag-reflect ako and think, observe. When I observe people, I also learn about their behavior, the pattern of behavior that people have, and somehow I pick up something from them just by people watching. Playing online games with my friends. Oh, really? What kind of online games do you play, Christian? Gusto ko ang sagot ng lahat. What do you do in your free time? I'm practicing my IELTS. I'm practicing English. Sana yun yung maging activity nyo right now na nasa IELTS journey kayo. I want you to lock in. 7 days a week, practice speaking English, 15 to 30 minutes a day. Kapag hindi nag-improve yung English nyo, sabihin nyo sa akin. Okay? Pero for sure, I guarantee you, kahit 1% mag-i-improve yung English nyo. If you incorporate English in your daily life, 15 to 30 minutes a day minimum. Okay? So this is the sample answer. Angel, could you please read it?
In my free time, I enjoy activities that help me relax and recharge. One of my favorite hobbies is reading because it allows me to expand my knowledge and broaden my horizons. I also enjoy exercising because it helps me stay active and improve my overall well-being. Recently, I've been trying to pick up new skills because I believe hobbies are a great way to learn and grow as a person.
Thank you, Angel. Another tip that I would like to give everyone when it comes to speaking, I would like you to sound more natural as much natural as you can through adding a variety in your intonation. The goal is not to sound like you memorized your answer, not to sound robotic. That's why iwasan natin yung pagiging monotonous. You have to show spontaneity by adding a variety of intonation, changing your tone from time to time. Ano ibig kong sabihin doon? In my free time, I enjoy activities that help me relax and recharge. One of my favorite hobbies is reading because it allows me to expand my knowledge and broaden my horizons. Ooh, I also enjoy exercising because it helps me stay active and improve my overall well-being. Recently, I've been trying to pick up new skills because I believe hobbies are a great way to learn and grow as a person. O, diba? Nakita niyo yung dynamic way of how I was able to execute my answer? May pataas, may pababa, depending on what I'm saying. Okay? We're gonna learn that in one of our lectures about pronunciation. Probably we can do that next week. Kasi kailangan face-to-face yun. So hopefully maka-attend kayo lahat on Wednesday. I'm expecting your attendance here on Wednesday. Okay? Before we move on to topic number 9, we're already halfway through. Tatlo na lang yung i-cover natin. Let's have a quick break. Okay, so go to the toilet break, water break, whatever you need. This topic is most commonly encountered on task 3, but it can also be asked on task 1, okay? Technology, especially topics about AI, topics about the use of the internet, social media, digital marketing, advertisement, mga ganyan, okay? So guys, when it comes to this topic, I want you to bear in mind na pag sinabing technology, it doesn't only pertain to digital devices or electronic devices like smartphones. Okay, technology is actually the advancement of the way of life. Hindi ko pa naman siniswitch. Okay, so advancement siya ng way of living, of human living. Okay? So, technology can pertain to before humans would just walk for transportation or horse carriages. In the Philippines, kalabaw. Tama ba? But now we have so many means of transportation, trains, planes, private vehicles. What else? If you are going to mention about locally used vehicles in your country, such as tricycle, jeepneys, you have to make sure that you describe it. Because always bear in mind that the person you're talking to is a foreigner who has not experienced living in the Philippines. So kung magme-mention ka man ng tricycle or ng jeepney, don't expect the person you're talking to understand that. Kung ayaw niyong malagay sa ganong situation wherein you have to describe the kind of transportation, don't mention it na lang. You can talk about mini buses or buses, trains. Ganun na lang, okay? So these words, these expressions, these clusters are pertaining to electronically used gadgets such as laptops, tablets, phone, One of the most commonly used terms nowadays is doom scrolling. I hear this from a lot of Gen Zs. Alam niyo yung meaning ng doom scrolling? Am I right? Doom as in DOOM and scrolling. Doom scrolling. It's the act of being stuck on your phone because you can't stop scrolling. Okay? Addicted ka na sa kakanood ng reels. That's what it means. Do you do that? But I'm really happy though kasi whenever I go out, I see a lot of people who are in their fitness journey. They're walking, jogging, even though Philippines is not a place na may mga pavements for walking and running. Pero yung conscious effort ng individuals to do it outdoors, we can see it. But of course, prioritize your safety ha. Kasi kaya ka naman nagpapaka-healthy to prolong your life, pero kung it's in the expense of getting into an accident, road accident, please be careful. I suggest mas okay if it's broad daylight. Wag naman broad daylight, sobrang sama sa skin nun. Probably in the morning. Para naman hindi ganun ka dilim na. Because I see a lot of people walking and running in the evening. But I don't think it's safe kasi baka matagis. Alam niyo yung word na matagis? Yeah. Okay. Although it's not something to make fun of. But yeah, yun nga yung ibig sabihin. So we don't want that, right? Browse the internet. If a video goes viral, post a story, video call someone. These are very easy terms that you could use. Okay. How much time do you spend on your phone? I usually scroll through social media before going to bed, but I try not to spend too much time online. Many people browse the internet to compare prices before buying products. That funny video went viral and received millions of views. I usually post a story when I travel or attend special events. Okay? Eventually, nagbabago rin yung mga terms because applications also add new features on their system. Like Instagram now has instants, right? I post an instant. Or pwede rin namang, on Messenger kasi you call it my day. Sa Instagram, sa Facebook, you call it my day. Sa Instagram, you call it a story, right? So you have to be familiar with those para naman ma-describe mo ng accurately. How often do you use technology? Pag ito yung tanong, pwede kasing broad yung maging answer mo dito. What do you think a good answer would be? Anyone from the online community? Pag sinabing technology, ano unang pumapasok sa isip nyo? Just a one-word answer, Valerie. You're thinking about gadgets right away. Okay? A gadget can be, hindi siya smartphone agad hindi siya tablet agad. Pag kasi sinabing gadgets, it's anything that brings convenience. A kitchen gadget is like, alam niyo yung uso ngayon na there's a peeler, right? That's a gadget because it makes your life easier. Instead of using a knife, you use a peeler to remove the skin of the vegetables or the fruits. That's a gadget. It doesn't have to be electronic all the time. A gadget can also be a mixer, a blender, a food processor, gadgets yan. Anything that brings convenience, okay? Pwedeng transportation is not a gadget, a form of technology. Transportation, kagaya ng sinabi ko kanina. You can use what else?
E-bike.
Yeah, e-bike. It's also an advancement in technology. Ano pa yung naiisip nyo? Mm-hmm. Now, when it comes to cleaning the house, we have technology there too. A vacuum cleaner, a robot sweeper. Uso yan sa Korea eh. Yung iniiwan mo lang yung sweeper and then kaya na niyang i-sweep yung buong floor automatically, right? It's like a circular device. Ano pa ba? Japan has really advanced technology when it comes to cleaning equipment. Meron silang, alam niyo yun, di ba usually kasi you have hair fall. Usually for women, nag-hair fall ka madalas, nakikita mo on the floor, right? So meron silang nakita ko on TikTok shop. Parang pang-roll siya, pero style niya is walis. It has like a long rod and it has a sticker roll at igaganon mo lang siya sa floor, makukuha na niya yung mga hair. Kasi 'di ba when you're sweeping, hair doesn't usually get swept easily. But if you use that sticker roller thing, I don't know what you call it, pero ang galing 'di ba na naisip nila yung mga ganong bagay. And recently I watched my favorite YouTuber's vlog. She's residing in New York. If you know her, Michelle Choi. Choi in English, pero Choi kasi in Korean. So she featured one of her sponsors. Isa siyang garbage bin that is high tech. It's particularly only for biodegradable ingredients like yung balat ng mansanas, yung mga food scraps. So, pinoprocess niya, ginagrind niya yung mga ganong residue ng food at kino-convert niya into dry compost. Kasi di ba pwede mo siyang gawing compost for the plants? Pero eventually, may iwasan mo yung lagkit feeling in the kitchen. Sa mga mommies out there, you know what I'm trying to say. Sa mga wifeys and mommies, when you're segregating biodegradable and non-biodegradable garbage, you know the struggle. Yeah, appliances in cooking, like a air fryer, di ba?
Or mirrors.
Yeah. The electronic ones, the ones with the lights. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, may automatic flush na, which is human censored. I think the one at SM Mall, human censored yun eh. Yung sa mga public toilets. We're a lot behind when it comes to technology, but in other countries, dun mo talaga ma-realize, ay, sobrang behind na talaga ng Philippines. But now that we have access to online sources like YouTube, nakikita din naman natin. So somehow, we can still keep up. Yun lang, experience is still lacking when it comes to that, right? Okay, so gusto ko lang ma-picture out nyo na malawak ang topic ng technology. Hindi lang siya about smartphones and the internet. Okay? That's why, kapag tinanong kayo how often do you use technology, huwag kayong ma-pressure to only talk about digital technology. Kasi pwede rin namang air conditioning is technology. Anything that you use for convenience, okay? Valerie, could you please read it?
Agree, by both community comments and communicate with other people. Since I store a lot of important files on my devices, I make sure to back up my data regularly. Overall, technology has become an essential part of my daily life.
Thank you, Valerie. So, I want you to particularly notice this. These are transition words. To make your speech coherent, ibig sabihin may logical flow at may continuity. Okay? So that you don't sound robotic. I use technology every day for work and entertainment. I browse the internet to search for information. I scroll through social media during my free time. I use my phone to video call my friends. I sound like a robot, don't I? Didn't I? Diba? I sounded like a robot. Kasi hindi ako gumamit ng transition words. But with the help of transition words, discourse markers, or any connector, it helps make you sound more spontaneous in your speech. Technology is something that I experience and use on a daily basis for both work and regular activities that I do in life. For example, on weekends, that's the chance that I have to clean my house. Recently, I purchased a vacuum cleaner, which is so helpful in cleaning my space because Philippines is a place wherein dust is accumulated easily inside the house. So I realized after purchasing a vacuum cleaner, it made my life much easier. I don't need to hold a dustpan and a broom. I just have to plug in my vacuum cleaner and it does the job for me. Nowadays, there are vacuum cleaners that are more portable. It's just a one stick and the storage for the dust and dirt. It's all in one device. So cleaning has been easy, much easier nowadays because of technology. And in the kitchen, wherein I would always be at every day because nowadays I have been practicing preparing and cooking my own meals to avoid unhealthy options. So I figured that I also encounter technology in the kitchen through the devices that I use, like food processors, an electronic thermos, or water boiler, the stove. So overall, technology has become so helpful and it makes my time I'm I have become more time efficient and productive because of technology. See, hindi lang siya about cell phones and stuff like that. Okay, let's move on to the next topic. Feelings and emotions. Okay, what kinds of feelings and emotions can you talk about? May mga questions kasi sa IELTS that it will ask you, how do you feel on a rainy day? Does the weather affect your mood? May mga tanong din na, for example, Um, during your leisure time, how do you feel after unwinding? Ganyan. So, it's very important to talk about feelings and emotions as well. So, these are the list of expressions that you could use. To be over the moon means extreme happiness. To be thrilled about something, you're super excited. To be thrilled means you're anticipating something, you're looking forward to something. Be in a great mood, be in a low mood, bad mood, pwede rin yan. It depends on what kind of mood you have. Feel a sense of accomplishment. This is helpful when you're talking about goals, right? How do you feel after achieving your goals? I feel a great sense of accomplishment. I am proud of myself. Feeling relieved. This is expressing something when you've gone through a difficult situation. I feel relieved that upon getting my test results, the doctor told me that I have fully recovered from my flu. Okay. Be grateful for something. Have mixed feelings. This is when you don't know how to describe your feelings. Feeling overwhelmed, ito yung pwedeng happy, pwede ring sad. You're overwhelmed. Neutral tong expression na to kasi you can be overwhelmed about something that made you really happy and you can be overwhelmed about something that makes you really sad. Pressured. Okay? I felt overwhelmed when my mom was hospitalized 2 years ago. That was the most difficult time of my life. I feel overwhelmed because I received an email that I got into the university that I applied for. So extreme happiness naman yun. To be under a lot of pressure, this is definitely what everyone feels right now that you're in your IELTS journey. You're feeling a lot of pressure. Am I right? Pero eto lang yung share ko sa inyo when it comes to getting the results of your IELTS. I want you to go back to what is IELTS? IELTS is an assessment test which checks anong level ka na in your English proficiency. It's not a pass or fail. It just checks, it assesses your current level. Na may misconception kasi tayo na pag hindi mo na-achieve yung required band score, failure ka na. So it makes you feel bad. That's why you're under a lot of pressure. But the thing is, IELTS is about progressing into achieving a higher level of proficiency kasi may kailangan kang target na score. But the thing is, everyone has a different reaction and progress when it comes to language development. Kasi iba-iba tayo ng weaknesses and strengths. Pwedeng mas mabilis maka-get si Angel compared kay I don't know who. I don't want to compare you to anyone. Pwedeng mas mabilis siyang matuto kaysa kay let's say kay Anna. Or pwede namang si Anna mas mabilis maka-gets kaysa kay Angel. It's your journey, okay? So wag mong silipin yung performance ng classmate mo. Pero syempre, it's good also to build good connections and friendships in this community para naman you stay motivated and you can get help from each other. Okay, so assessment test ang English proficiency test na IELTS ha, hindi siya intellectual capacity test. Kasi hindi porket di ka na nakapasa, you're feeling like a failure, you're feeling like end of the world na. May iba nga 3 beses pa nagte-take, 4 na beses pa before they get their required band score, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's only gonna be something wrong if you don't keep pushing, if you give up on your dreams. One test result doesn't determine your future. Your reaction to it determines your future. Okay? How do you react kapag hindi mo nakuha yung score na gusto mo? Are you going to stop there? Or are you going to exhaust all efforts? Right? Because if you have a dream, you go after it. If you're still not getting the dream, it means medyo kulang pang effort. Or hindi pa time. Everything has perfect timing, okay? So you have to deal with your feelings and emotions in a sane way, okay? Don't be too much pressured. Okay, these are the example sentences. I was over the moon when I achieved my goal. Getting positive feedback from my teacher gave me a sense of accomplishment. Spending time with my family always lifts my spirits. So when we say lifts my spirits, namamotivate ako. Sumasaya ako, okay? I sometimes feel overwhelmed when I have too many responsibilities. During busy periods, I have a lot on my plate. Maganda tong expression na to. To have a lot on your plate, ibig sabihin sobrang hectic ng schedule mo, ang dami mong deadline na hinahabol. When I feel stressed, I usually take a break to clear my mind. To take a break to clear your mind means definitely relax ka muna if you're stressed, because the tendency is you make a lot of mistakes. You make a lot of impulsive decisions when your emotions are high. That's why it's much better to take a break and clear your mind. How do you usually deal with stress? Robert, can you please read this?
When I feel I try to not play out my emotion. I usually take some time to relax and do activities that help me clear my mind. For example, I enjoy listening to music or going for a walk because this activity helps lift my spirits. I also try to stay positive and see the silver lining in difficult situations. I believe managing stress is important because it helps me stay focused and emotionally balanced.
Okay. Huwag kayong ma-pressure kasi itong mga sample answers na to is for band 7 pataas. Okay? But, nakaka-help din na alam nyo itong mga expressions na to kasi ang lakas makaangat ng lexical resource score. Okay? How do you usually deal with stress? Bigay mo agad yung sagot mo. Ang sagot niya dito, I don't ignore my emotions. I take some time to relax and do activities that help me clear my mind. Pay attention. Nagbigay siya ng mga examples. Because once you give examples, you give the examiner more answers, which means a reason for the examiner to score higher, to give you a higher score. Okay? As you can see, the answer was substantiated with helpful supporting details to expound on the topic or the question, the answer, okay? Okay, we're down to our last 2 topics. We have making plans. Making plans, you have to be very particular with the verb tenses that you're going to use here, because when we say plans, we're pertaining to the future. Sino dito ang struggle nila verb tenses? Nahihirapan kayo sa present tense, past tense, future tense. Normal naman yan because nakakalito talaga. In English grammar, we have a total of 12 different tenses. And if you want that lesson, Available yan sa YouTube channel ko. You can just replay the videos or you can just wait for it to be plotted. Grammar 3 can be plotted. Pero medyo mahaba-habang discussion kasi si Grammar 3. May 4 na tenses sa present, may 4 na tenses sa past, at may 4 na tenses sa future. So, ginagawa ko, 1 category, 1 lecture. Kasi nga, mahabang explanation siya. And I really like to take my time para unti-unti nyong na-absorb yung info. Hindi siya overwhelming. Okay? Again, we have to use future tense when you are talking about making plans. Pencil someone in. This is quite a unique expression. Have you heard of this expression before? It's very uncommon, right? So when you pencil someone in, it particularly means it's a temporary or biglaang plano, okay? So hindi pa siya sobrang accurate. Like, pwede ka pang mag-no, pwede ka pang mag-change ng decision when you pencil someone in. For example, hey, can I pencil you in for... Guys, can I pencil you guys in our Saturday lecture? It's either going to be in the morning or in the afternoon. So, I'm preparing you and I'm telling you na, yes, we're going to have a lecture on Saturday, pero pwedeng umaga, pwedeng hapon, okay? Ibig sabihin, tentative pa. Free up some time. You're gonna make time for someone or for some activities. Same as fit something into your schedule. Cancel plans, change plans, stick to a plan. Ito yung you will commit to it. Play it by ear, ibig sabihin din nito spontaneity, okay? For example, do you usually follow an itinerary whenever you travel? No, I am a very spontaneous person, so whenever I travel abroad, I just play it by ear. Meaning, dun ko na lang i-decide kung saan ko gusto kumain, saan maglibot. Kasi sponty ka nga, di ba? Ganon. Okay? Come up with an idea. Yeah. Suddenly may naisip kang idea and you plan on following that, okay? Or doing that. Okay, these are the list of example sentences. Okay. Yung iba, hindi ko na i-discuss. Gusto ko lang yung mahihirap. Let's pencil in lunch for next Tuesday in case our schedules change. Meaning nito, okay, magla-lunch tayo sa Tuesday, pero hindi pa siya sobrang sure. Okay? Meaning, pwede pa akong mag-cancel, pwede pa siyang mag-cancel, pero kailangan iset na natin yung isip natin that we're gonna have lunch on Tuesday. Okay? Next we have, I always try to stick to my study plan even when I'm busy. This is something that you all should do. Stick to your study structure. Incorporate English in your daily life. It's a different thing to listen, to watch, and it's also a different thing to speak. That's why I'm asking you to do it not 24/7, 7 days a week, okay? I teach English every day except Sundays. So Monday to Saturday, English talaga yung salita ko. One time, I asked for a 2-week vacation from work. So 2 weeks ako hindi nagturo. And I didn't have anyone to talk with in English. Kasi everyone around me speaks Filipino. My husband speaks Filipino. My friends, Taglish, Filipino. Sa 2 weeks na yon, wala akong nakausap ng English. I think I experienced a brain rot. Kasi after 2 weeks, nung nagbalik na ako sa work, Parang hindi na ako makapagsalita ng English. Parang hirap na akong mag-recall ng mga vocabs. It was a temporary situation though. But I was not sticking on my English medium at that time. That's a proof that language can be lost and can be forgotten. When I was young, at the age of 5, I learned 2 additional languages prior to my mother tongue, which is Filipino. I knew how to speak Filipino, but I lived abroad, so I learned 2 more languages, which I became fluent in. Nakalimutan kong mag-Filipino na. And I remember my mom would laugh at me because I would speak Filipino in a very rugged way, like Barok Filipino, right? So that's what happens when you don't speak the language. Your brain is systematized in a way that if there's no frequency in the activity, it won't stick to it. Okay? Kaya kailangan nyo siyang i-incorporate every single day in your lives. By thinking and speaking in English every day, at least hanggat sa matapos si IELTS nyo. Kasi eventually, this is your training ground. When you finally live abroad and work abroad, study abroad, you're gonna be using English, whether you like it or not. So, training ground yun na rin to, okay? Okay, do you prefer planning things or being spontaneous? Spontaneous means wala kang plano sa buhay. Charos. Hindi. Spontaneous means you're the kind of person who enjoys just living your life day by day. Yung parang hindi ka masyadong mahilig sa routine. Okay? It depends on your personality. Kasi may mga taong spontaneous sila when it comes to work. And, hindi. Parang, they're very OC when it comes to work, but when it comes to leisure, they're very spontaneous. Pero may mga tao din naman, you stick to your plans every time. So what kind of personality do you have? Do you like planning things or do you like being spontaneous? How about you, Valerie? Being spontaneous is also fun kasi ang hirap naman yung laging restricted lahat ng galaw mo, no? Sometimes it's also fun to breathe, you know? Try to be spontaneous. Parang, dream ko yon. Magpunta ako sa isang country, I want to be financially capable of doing spontaneous activities. Hindi lang kasi ito lang yung fit sa budget, ito lang yung pwede kong gawin kasi ito lang yung time na meron ako. 2 days lang ako dito sa area na to, so kailangan magawa ko lahat. Di ba? Ang sarap lang sa feeling na spontaneous ka lang, hindi mo iisipin yung next mong gagawin. Because I think that's the essence of traveling. Enjoying every moment without being pressured, right? Pero syempre, we all have our different approach when it comes to experiencing things in life. So how about you, Rai? Do you like being spontaneous or do you like planning things ahead?
I have marami kong errands sa araw. Nagpa-plan ko kung ano dapat unahin. Kung minsan nakakalimutan ko po.
Uh-huh.
Kapag lalabas na bumabes, ko.
Okay. It's exciting when you experience things spontaneously, right? How about you, Angel? Do you like being spontaneous or are you a planner?
Pag may important po akong dapat gawin, gusto ko yung nakaplano ko lahat para makapos ako.
To maximize your time. Okay.
Kung normal day lang ako, spontaneous.
Okay. How about you, Robert? Planning things, okay. Me too. I'm the kind of person na kapag binago yung schedule ko abruptly, I kind of lose it. Hindi naman yung parang napapraning, pero I am irritated with that. For example, I'm the person who values communication a lot. Let's say we already agreed that we will meet at a specific place in a specific time. Hindi ko naman sinabing kailangan nandun ka on the dot. But if there's gonna be any changes, you have to let me know. Because I don't work well with spontaneous changes in a scheduled event. Kasi yun yung personality ko, okay? So I get upset or probably my mood changes or naiinis talaga ako pag ganun. Kasi I feel like you have to respect the person's time, right? If you already scheduled that specific activity with that person at a specific day and time, and if you're not gonna make it, communicate. Or at least exhaust all efforts that you could do to let the person know, oh, I'm gonna cancel it. I can't. Something came up. Siguro mga 1 day ahead, mas okay. Kesa sa magsisimula na a few hours, tas biglang last minute, di ba? That's what I don't like. But of course, if your reason is valid, like there was an emergency, there was an urgent situation, something inevitable, I would take that into consideration at mapapatawad naman kita. Grabe naman yon. But if I have expectations and I've measured my expectations in plans at hindi nakipag-coordinate sa akin at cooperate yung kausap ko, I feel disrespected. Because time is gold, right? And upon getting older, you guys will learn time is money. So, yun na yun. I prefer planning most of the time because it helps me avoid stress. However, when I'm on vacation or spending time with close friends, I don't mind playing it by ear. I think having a balance between planning and being flexible is the best approach. Okay. Last is problems and solutions. Anong oras na ba? Sakto lang. Problems and solutions. Magandang pag-usapan to because maraming ganyang topic sa task 3. What are the causes and effects? What are the common problems, repercussions on this specific topic? What do you think are the solutions to that? So, kailangan analytical and critical thinker ka. Okay, we have these expressions: deal with a problem, solve a problem, find a solution, come up with a solution, ask for help, face a challenge, overcome an obstacle. Obstacle is like balakid, okay? Make a mistake, learn from mistakes, think outside the box. Think outside the box to find solutions, which means maging creative ka. Huwag ka lang mag-stick sa traditional way of dealing with things, right? Okay, let me choose the most significant ones. I don't hesitate to ask for help when I can't solve something on my own. This is really difficult for people who are hyper-independent. Nag-hesitate na mag-ask ng help. I've heard feedback from my student. She's in her 40s. 42 years old na siya. And sabi niya sa akin, she's been working with Gen Zs. At nakita niya yung difference kasi Gen Zs tend to be hyper-independent. Like when you want something to be done your own way, you're just gonna do it your own way. You're not gonna ask for assistance or help. Tama ba yun, Valerie? Oo. Do you have that kind of quality? And Angel? Right? Are you hyper-independent or are you the kind of person who seeks for help? Depende siguro sa personality, no? Hindi lang naman porket Gen Z yun na. But I think us millennials, kami kasi yung parang generation na accustomed pa sa camaraderie. Pero depende din sa personality because me, I'm very hyper independent. Siguro nasanay na din talaga ako ng ganun. But I also realized loosening up is also good. Okay din naman to ask for help. Kasi syempre naliligaw ka na, alangan naman mag-waste ka pa ng time, 'di ba? I really ask for help, and I also think that asking for help is a good communication technique. Kasi you become people smart when you start asking for help around you. We managed to overcome the obstacle by working as a team. We managed to overcome the challenges. Pwede rin ganon, okay? How do you usually deal with problems? This is a good question. Do you stay calm? Do you make impulsive decisions? I read that the true character of a person is revealed not during calm situations, but the true character of a person is revealed on how they react when they're under pressure, under pain, and under a problematic situation. Totoo yun. When I was a little younger, very kasi ako like reactive akong tao. Because I'm emotionally immature. I used to be emotionally immature when I was younger. But as I get older, I realize not everything needs a reaction. So staying calm, thinking about a solution is better than reacting to what's happening because you save time, you save energy, and you save face. Kasi di ba, pag hysterical ka sa isang situation, parang pangit na agad ng impression sa'yo ng tao, no? Okay, so I'll let you guys read this silently because this is also the last part of our presentation. Hindi na natin magagawa yung exercise na pinrepare ko, so we can do that on our next session. It's already 12, so just expect me to send the link. Magsasend ako ng link ng ating handout. It's basically this presentation, okay? I'll send it when I also upload the replay video. So thank you so much for joining our live session. If you have any questions, please let me know. And I hope to see you guys here. Please come here tomorrow for your coaching session with Sir Kevin. He's going to be here at 9 to accommodate everyone. You're welcome, AJ. Sino yung magsistay? Valerie, are you going to stay? Oh, Angel. Okay, sige. You guys can go on a quick lunch break. I'm gonna be back after 10 minutes. Sa mga nasa Zoom naman, I'll end the meeting and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!